What is up, everybody? I know it's been a while since I posted an actual out and about video, but we got the sun out. It's pretty nice, and the state of Oregon didn't make it easy on us, but we now have the title for our 1996 Honda Prelude. Ross and I are gonna bleed the clutch a little bit more because it's still acting a little bit funky, but my cousin's friend actually had his Subaru transmission explode, so we're going to be selling the Prelude to him because right now he has no car. So as unfortunate as we didn't get to, go through it and make it all beautiful and shiny and basically like new again like we wanted, we have a chance to, help somebody out who needs a car and sell them something that's not boring and it's actually really fun and exciting. And yeah, so as much as I wanted to, go through with a fine-tooth comb and make everything look brand new again, I still really want to put a car on, bring a trailer. So maybe we'll run into another car we can have this opportunity with. I'm gonna go pick it up. We're gonna go bleed the clutch over at Ross's house, and then I'm gonna drive it around for the rest of the day today just to make sure everything is good, because obviously we don't want to sell him a problematic car. Taking a little bit of a lunch break. For those of you that don't know, I now have a full-time position writing for motorbiscuit.com. It's super cool, and yeah, so thank you guys all for being here, because without all these videos and all these years of doing all this stuff and steering into the automotive journalism thing, I wouldn't be where I'm at now, and now it's a full-time job, which is crazy. But yeah, let's go get the Prelude. Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, here it is, the 1996 Honda Prelude SI. Title is in my pocket. I'm going to put it in the glove box since I'm going to be driving it around.
The side's locked, sorry.
Beep poop. Right,
yeah, the side's not locked.
Anyway, really nice car for a 96 Honda, pretty low mileage. It's got, what, $172 on it?
Something like that.
Yeah, everything works. All the electronic stuff works, sunroof works and everything. I drove it back from Ontario. We gotta bleed the clutch. It's still behaving a little funky, but we have paperwork for this head being entirely rebuilt. The timing belt snapped, so you can see the head's very shiny. The shop decked it and did all the cam and internal work and everything, and new head gasket, head bolts, timing belt, the whole shebang.
Plus there's new tires on it.
Yeah, new tires, AC works. The only big issue really is this over here where someone hit it in a parking lot. Really, a PDR guy could probably get most of this out, and if we had taken the time to have a PDR guy do this and deep clean the interior and vacuum and made it super nice and everything, this is probably a $5,000 plus bring a trailer car.
Yeah.
To somebody. The high mileage wouldn't scare someone off for having a chassis that's so rust free and pretty well maintained, so that's all right.
Probably good mileage, especially right now,
Yeah. So obviously we're not getting that much out of it since we're selling it to a friend, but
yeah,
it's cool. It made me kind of want one, but I still want an Integra better.
Yeah.
More, I mean, because I was like, maybe this will be the moment I realize that I want a Prelude and not an Integra. And I was like, nah, you can definitely feel how much this car's an Accord.
Definitely feels like an Accord.
But at any rate,
I was trying to find some tape,
yeah,
but because that light does work, it's just broken.
But,
so
yeah, I mean, a good detail and like touching up all the paint work, probably repaint the front bumper and everything. We could have got a ton of money for this car.
Yeah.
If we made it super nice. It's not black interior, so that's a little bit of a ding in the value, but otherwise, very cool car. We would have had to find a stock intake box too.
Yeah.
The collector grandpas don't like the old hot air intake, although that one's got a battery block in it, so I guess it's a little bit colder than a lot of the Honda intakes we've seen in our time. But yeah, let's bleed this clutch out and I guess figure that out.
Yeah.
And then I'll probably wash it.
Yeah, why not? It needs a good. There's a lot of dust inside.
Yeah, that's. I gotta get some work done when I get back home, but maybe after work I'll take it up and get it vacuumed. I was kind of thinking about taking it to Jay's and just having them do the whole thing, but it costs $30 now.
Oh. Yeah, but I mean $30 to get it all cleaned up. Yeah, it's pretty stiff.
Something felt a little wonky with the clutch pedal, and we figured out what it was. One of the bolts, or the nut on the back side of the bolt that holds the slave cylinder wasn't there. And after I laid down there, we figured out why they didn't put it back. Give this thing the Will Smith treatment.
The memes have been fire.
Oh yeah. Alright. Yeah, I think it's fine. Who you stand with on the whole Will Smith versus Chris Rock thing?
I mean, Will Smith got him, so.
I don't know, dude. To me, I'm with Chris Rock on it.
Oh, I thought you meant like a slap.
Oh no, yeah. No, it's
I
just.
don't really know the whole story, but I heard it had something to do with Jada or something.
Yeah, she's got alopecia, so that's why she's bald. Like her hair falls out.
Huh.
So Chris Rock said he can't wait for the next G.I. Jane movie because she's bald in that movie. So Will Smith was like laughing about it for a second, and then Jada didn't think it was funny, so we went up there and slapped him. Everybody's like, "It's fake, dude." He like leaned into it. I was like, dude, I bet he thought like Will Smith was just gonna come up and give him like a playful jab or something, not actually slap. Did you see the unedited version that aired on Australia? Because Chris Rock was like, "Damn, Will Smith just slapped the shit out of me." And Will Smith sits down and he's like, "Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth." I was like, yeah, people that think this is fake needs to see the uncensored one where
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy that we're LS guys now.
Apparently.
Here's one, there's one. That's going in Ross's drift car. I recently acquired one. Listen, I don't want to make any promises that we can't actually adhere to, but our idea is for that to go in another chassis that we have that you may or may not remember. It's rear wheel drive, and we just want to put it in there, NA, 4L80E or even a 60E, just plop it into this car because it's already got a welded diff, and take it to SEMA and go shred the Hoonigan burnout box because I'll probably be going to SEMA anyway. Ross has never been to SEMA, so it'd be a perfect way for him to get in. I don't know if that would let you in the convention center though, but at any rate, we could go do giant burnouts with. So I traded that engine or a Volvo engine for that. We gotta get a pan and stuff, but we already sold the engine and trans out of the other car and scrapped the cats and got some money for it. So basically, if we strip out the interior and sell, because it's got navigation and a bunch of other stuff, we could probably almost LS swap that car for free. So, we'd have to, do some Charles style slamming on a piece of wood and then make yourself some engine mounts type stuff. But we got welders, so we can figure it out. It doesn't need to be able to go on a road trip.
No.
Although driving it to Vegas would be a big flex.
Break it over there and have no way to get back.
Like, this is for sale. Put a new LS in there. Good to go. Give us 2 G's.
But yeah. So we're thinking about it. We gotta figure out some other things. We got some other things to do first.
Yeah, like this and my wagon, and I've got 17 rocket launches to go to, drift events. We gotta fix my drift car. We got a lot to do, so hopefully there'll be a lot of videos coming. But yeah, I work full time now, and I actually have more free time. But Ross is on nights right now, and I work days, so our schedules don't coincide well, which is why it's lunch break time, and I should probably go back home and start working again. But yeah, so we got a bunch of cool stuff coming. So we're gonna take the Prelude, and I'm gonna keep making this video while I drive it around for the day, and we'll go get it washed and see if I get soaked in the car wash. I wonder if there's a Prelude at a junkyard. Go pluck a rear view mirror for him.
Maybe.
But
yeah, this is, I did verify this is a 5.3, even though all the block markings say it's a 4.8, even though you can't really go by them. So it is a 5.3. We didn't really talk about it, but we got a whole adapter stuff for a Z32 trans, which is right there. I'm the first one on the internet to put a Z32 and a G35 because it was like, just get a CD double and A, because that's what they came with. You dummy.
Yeah, I'm gonna put a Z32 trans in this. So like, why would you do that when the better one came in these stocks?
Yeah.
And you're like, It was cheap. Okay.
Yeah, it was cheap, and also that car was an automatic, so...
But you got the trans and the adapter plate and the clutch and flywheel and all that stuff for, what, $1,000?
Yeah. So
I mean, that adapter set with that clutch setup is $1,000 by itself. So.
And then the transes are pretty cheap because I think it should be an NA trans. I was reading on the website you can't use a turbo trans, something about whatever. We're going to just make sure it works. I don't really care.
That'll be nice, so when it blows up, the transmissions will be cheap to replace, unlike mine.
Yeah.
If I break my CD09 in either one of my cars, I'm going to have to cry about it for a while.
So we're just kind of going to stab it in there. I was actually just in the car today, kind of just checking some stuff out, because I've never actually sat in my G35. We picked it up, and then I dropped it off. And
it's just been sitting.
Yeah.
I bet there's people watching that don't even realize that you have a G35.
Yeah. Well, I know. I think I told Charles about it, and he goes, "You have a what?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah." And he goes, "Why didn't you tell me about that?" He's like...
Because you would try and buy it.
Yeah, I'm like, because you try to take it for free. And
Charles always wants to buy my drift car.
So...
And Jacob's. That he sold to him.
But the only thing I have to worry about right now is... I just need to get the engine and trans together, and then I can start figuring out what I want to do for motor mounts, because I can purchase motor mounts to put an LS in a G35, but the issue is I don't know if this oil pan, if those mounts are set up for this oil pan. So
the thing about it, though, is it has no hood, and there's no reason to put one on it. It's basically a death cart with a few extra body panels. We even talked about slicing the back of his G35 off to graft it onto mine so that I could have good quarter panels in the future. So it's not going to be a full car, really.
No, it will not be street legal. I would never... I would only be able to test it around the neighborhood to drive it and to tune it.
Right.
Because I did find a full micro squirt for one of these with a plug-and-play harness. It comes preloaded with a turbo tune. We're not turboing it, so...
It's a sloppy mechanics one, right?
Yeah, so it would work to start it, but we would have to just kind of take the turbo tune off.
I'm sure there's a million MSQ files on MSQ for just a stock 5.3 too. But no boost, nothing stupid. It's going to weigh nothing because half the car's gone. And Ross just needs some seat time, and he's going to have the V8 cheat code, but it just so happened that, we got this cheap enough and he got all the parts cheap enough that this is going to cost less than putting a VQ in that car.
Yeah.
Because you would have to manual swap it, do a CD09 or even like a CD03 like mine, and those things are $400 now for no reason. Like if I blow the CD09 up that's in my Volvo, because that's a real one, that's going to suck.
But what's nice is you're not really going to be beating the shit out of your Volvos. So the drift cars, like... Because I thought about putting a cam in this because it's out, and I was like, it wouldn't be that bad. And then I was like, or I could not spend money and just slam it in and then see what happens. So I do have to fabricate or make something like a whole front support for a radiator and everything because...
Oh, right, that's what I was going to say, though, is it doesn't have a hood. So if we can get it to a position where the shifter lines up roughly where it should be, and this is sitting in a position the oil pan's not on the cross member, then we could just make mounts.
Yeah, because that's the only reason why I haven't bought mounts is because it's almost $400, and I don't know if my oil pan will clear, and then the low-profile oil pan with baffles, which would be nice for a drift car, is also like $400. So I'm not trying to spend crap load of money for good parts on a car that's just going to be getting beat the shit out of. So.
Right. Yeah. So we just need to get the trans and engine together and start test fitting it in the chassis and then go from there. So that's going to be happening. I mean, relatively soon. It's probably going to have to be weekend work since But you said you go back on days in
a month.
Yeah. Okay. So from there we should have evenings, and especially because it'll be summer, we won't be freezing.
Yeah.
Which means I won't get as mad when we work on cars.
Well, so just when it gets dark and we're like, what the fuck is
Yeah, dude, we gotta get, you already have some pretty decent lighting, but I just put some daylight LED bulbs in that shop, in my office. I've been waiting for my landlord to do the lights on for a year. I finally decided I ballast bypassed them and just put LED bulbs in there that I got from Batteries Plus.
Oh.
It's so bright in there. So, and they have this thing that plugs in like a regular light socket. I assume there's not one over your garage door though, huh?
No.
But it's like a regular light socket, and it fans out and has 5 like racks of LEDs. That's so fucking bright.
Damn, I'll have to check that out.
So we could even get like just a regular 110 plug that's like a regular light socket and slam one of those up if we're gonna put the G35 in this way to work on it. Yeah.
I don't know.
You know, just we can.
There's an outlet. We could just.
Yeah, we could get some lighting going, and then I got the studio lights and everything.
But yeah, so that one I don't know if it'll be ready for this drift season because we'll obviously have to do some angle, maybe some suspension, and weld the diff and whatnot. But if we can get it running and driving this summer, like
you could probably have it at a fall event.
Yeah, like, and I don't even have to put angle on it to just start. Like,
well, the GK Tech angle is cheap too.
True,
it's like $250. That's what I run.
And you know, it depends on how much money I have, because this thing is kind of giving me some issues. I thought we were blowing through the torque converter, but the transmission fluid was a little low, and so in fourth gear at higher RPM, it was just slipping really bad when I'd roll into the power. And granted, I was doing like 120, so you can't really test on it because it's fast.
As a drag strip, of course.
Right. So
it's got like a 300,000 mile ADE, doesn't it?
Something like that. It came out of a work van, so like it's you know. But this thing is scary on the street. First gear is completely useless still. Like, and I even lowered the air pressure in the back for the tires. And yeah, she did. No,
we have to do a video on this at some point, dude. We got to get the mics too. I bought us a pair of like wireless lav mics, so we'll just be able to talk, and the camera will hear us from wherever we're at. Some real Mighty Car Mods type stuff, dude. I
did add an oil pressure gauge. We do have oil pressure, so I made sure of that. And, you know, we did it race car style, so yeah. The light does work when I turn on the light.
Oh.
So that's good. So you can see it.
All right, well, the GoPro's about to die, and I should probably go to work. But
yeah. But anyway, there's a little bit of update, but we will get some content cranked out. I know you guys no one's really watching right now, but I mean, we will.
I just gotta get a clickbait title rolling again. Let's put Alex Troy in the title again. Did you see how many views I got?
I did.
Well, I'm now reminded that I forgot to put a cotter pin inside the rod that goes through the pedal that's in there, in the clutch. There's that rod inside there that's supposed to go through the clutch pedal, attaches it to the rod that pushes on the master cylinder. There's no cotter pin in that. And I'm reminded now because that's also not in the pedal anymore, and I'm putting my foot past the pedal and pushing directly on the rod into the master cylinder for the clutch so I can finish driving this home. It's one of those type of days, but you see, this is why I wanted to pick it up, so I can make sure I get these nuances sorted out before we sell it to someone. Okay, let's go see how well the Prelude's weather stripping has held up, and hopefully I don't get soaked. Alright, let's see how this goes. I found the rear view mirror, but I need a base plate to connect it to this guy. So I'm kind of thinking if I go to the junkyard and find an Accord that's similar year, we might get lucky and just the base plate thing will work, or I can plug the whole mirror, and so we'll see. But here we go, guys, into the car wash. This place does they used to do hand-only car washes, but now they have stuff that touches the paint, which is a little upsetting, but they still do the interior. They vacuum and dust and all that stuff on the dash, and it's only like 30 bucks. So used to be 18, and it didn't used to have like touching components. So, boy, all said and done, I guess it's still a pretty good deal for like a quick detail, basically, for 30 bucks. All right, here's where things can get sketchy. Feels pretty dry up here. You can see there is still people in here that do it by hand, but I mean, they just have like stuff on sticks now. I'm sure they're not, well, all he is using wash mitt. Yeah, I guess I'm just not paying attention enough, but this is the primary reason I came here. I believe the dude we got this car from does construction of some sort. So it's pretty dusty in here, and they'll vacuum it and everything. It actually looks like we're good though. No leaking, everything's dry. Hell Hell yeah, dude. Nice work, Honda. Yeah, look at that. Cleans up pretty nicely in here. There's a couple spots that just, you know, didn't really get into it all that much, but hey, it's pretty cheap. And we didn't pay for a full detail, so good enough. Oh wow, look at this. A GTI owner speeding, that's crazy, huh? So it's kind of looking like the actual windshield mounted rear view mirror might just be a Prelude thing. Because I can't find, oh god, it smells in this one. Can't find any Hondas that use it. Alright guys, like I said, I didn't really get a chance to enjoy the Prelude because we didn't have the title and I didn't want to drive it or anything like that. Plus we hadn't really gotten it completely sorted out like we have now. So we're going to take the GoPro, we're going to take a suction cup mount, we're going to go to one of the most iconic driving roads here in Idaho. If the scenery looks familiar, it's probably because you saw it in some Engineering Explained videos when Jason lived here. But yeah, so let's take the Prelude out for a little bit of a cruise before I get rid of it. Like I said, it's not a bad idea to drive it. I'm not going to drive it super hard or anything, but just to make sure everything is in order, because I do not want to sell a car with problems to somebody else. So let's check her out. All right. That's not the way I like it. You guys can see I've got a lav mic on. Wanted to test this thing out, but accidentally forgot to bring the clip that holds it onto your shirt. So here we are, it's just kind of dangling there. Off the bat, it's not as confidence inspiring as like an Integra. It's definitely a lot more boaty, and that's not to say anything bad about the suspension on this particular Prelude. It's actually quite good. I think it's just kind of a Prelude thing as a whole. While it is a slightly more sporty oriented car in stock format, they're not exactly handling machines. It does have plenty of pickup for a 96 Honda Prelude. It hangs on in the corners a little bit better than I would have anticipated, I'll say that much. Again, I'm not pushing it super hard, and I'm sure there's plenty more on the table that I'm leaving here, but we got cheap tires, we got stock suspension, and I'm not trying to crash a car that's already got a buyer, so. The kid who's buying it from us is obviously just going to use it for getting to and from work and things like that, so it's not a big deal that it's not a race car, but I think a Prelude is a really great starting platform for building really anything. You could do a drag car, you could do autocross. Just like a Civic, except for the benefit of the Prelude is that it comes with an H series, so doing an H22 like closed deck JDM engine swap, super easy thing to do. All the mounts are already there. You just need an engine, a transmission, LSD and stuff like that. Of course, there's the VTEC trim, which is a trim level higher than this, which comes with the VTEC H22. This is a NA traditional distributor with spark plug wires, H23A1, I believe. And it's plenty of fun. Like, it's great, and I'm sure it gets really good fuel economy for the year it was made, and all this and all that. And it's, you know, it's a sportier ride than a Civic, which is really all it needed to be, right? It's unfortunate then that there's a good chance I'll never ever buy one in this condition again for the price that I paid, or probably even the price that we're selling it for, especially considering the engine work. There's a $4,000 receipt just for the repairs done to the engine last year. It's got new tires, it's got a new clutch master cylinder. There's actually a clutch as well, because the previous owner thought that might be the issue with it. There was a little bit of a leak from the master cylinder, but once we got the leak taken care of and the cylinder bled properly, it wanted to play along. So we got pretty lucky in that front, and I'm glad that it's going to somebody who's going to love it and needs a car right now, but it doesn't have to have a boring car. You get to have a Prelude, and Prelude's a fun car. Slow vehicle turnout, I'll be taking that. The shifter feels and looks exactly like a CB7 shifter and a CG6, CD5, I don't remember, the next generation Accord. It's the same thing, and like I was talking about earlier, I thought this might be the car that convinces me that I don't want an Integra and maybe I want a different performance-oriented Honda, and I don't. I still just want another Integra really bad because I miss mine, and to this day I have yet to feel anything with a shifter as good from the factory as a DC chassis Acura Integra. Corner tightens up as well. A little bit of sand in the road there. See, that's why we're not pushing it too hard.
What is it?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that does it for mine and Ross's ownership of this 4th gen Honda Prelude. Its new owner is coming to pick it up tomorrow. So, like I said, we'll probably never be able to get another one for the price that we paid for this thing, or probably even the price that we're paying, or that we're getting for it, considering the engine rebuild and fresh tires. It's got relatively new suspension on it, new master cylinder, all that stuff. The engine, the head rebuild is really the selling point here though. So everyone wave goodbye. Great car. I'd love to have a VTEC one, but like I said, I can't get over the Accord association. I just really want another Integra. At any rate, thank you guys very much for watching. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and add me on Snapchat at BigB1011. If you want to follow Ross on Instagram, he's on Instagram at WeGotRoss. And if you want to see a picture of your video, if you want to see a picture of your car featured at the end of one of my videos as the car of the video, send a picture of it to me at curseforeverhelp@gmail.com. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.